everyone, this is the Canny Couple, and welcome to week 3 of our Pantry Challenge, #3rivers. I'm Julia, Aaron's behind the camera, and today I'm going to show you some simple, easy meals to use stuff from your pantry. But before we get started, we would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel. We appreciate all of our subscribers. So, this week, although I'm in a bit of a flux, state because this is my first week as a stay-at-home mom and full-time homesteader, we're kind of keeping our meal preps very similar to what we're used to. And we're doing some really simple meals. So we're going to start with our oatmeal. So I have our oats here, and I soak these overnight. So we're having a little bit of tummy issues in the house. So this is one of the things I've read about personally, and I've heard about helping is soaking your oatmeal to help make it more digestible. So we're going to start with that. And I'm going to add 4 cups of water. This is 4 cups of oats. And this isn't just water. This was also about less than 2 cups of my peach syrup that I canned and used last week. I'll set that there. I'm going to stir that up. Give it a really quick stir. And then I'm going to add a jar of peach scrap syrup. This was some jelly I made that didn't set up. That smells good. And we're just gonna slowly pour that in there. That's all I want to use of that. And give it a really pretty color. And I'm probably going to use a half a cup of sugar. We're going to turn this on medium. We're just going to let it cook. I didn't use as much water as I normally would with these oats. These are traditional rolled oats because of the soaking. So they shouldn't take as long to cook. Oh, and I'm also going to use some vanilla. That's why I've left the vanilla out. I made our homemade coffee creamer this morning from milk and some sugar and vanilla. It's really easy. It's setting because it needs to cool down before going in the refrigerator. If you haven't checked out that video, go check out that video. I have to say, I don't think we'll ever go back, will we?
No. It's so good, and it's actually so much cheaper too.
It's so much cheaper. Well, somebody said it's not cheaper because of how much you have to use to run the stuff, and it's cheaper. We did the math. Okay, soup for lunch. I've been promising Aaron vegetable soup for a while, and he's kind of finally asked for it, demanded it. So we're going to do a tomato-based vegetable soup. So we're going to start with 3 jars of home canned tomatoes. Well, 2 jars of home canned tomatoes, and then a half a pint of tomato sauce. This is my tomato sauce. Already looks good. You able to eat it just like that?
Oh yeah, it could be tomato soup.
I'm going to add 2 jars of red beans, just for some extra added protein. I know it's not a well, beans are a vegetable, but I don't know. I guess I consider them more like a protein source. I don't really throw beans in everything that we eat. Okay. Then I have some other vegetables. So right here I have, that's just water. It is corn and some frozen vegetables that I had pulled out of the freezer, trying to use up some old stuff. And then we have potatoes. I'm going to use my hands to get these out. My hands are clean, so before you all yell at me. About 4 cups of potatoes, 4 to 5. Peeled and washed. If you don't want to peel yours, you don't have to peel them. I tend to peel them when they go in soup unless it's like a potato soup.
Yeah.
They just taste better that way.
They do. It's what you're used to out of a vegetable soup.
That's just for us. I mean, it's really
what
your
we used
preference.
to growing up was.
Yeah, like our mom. I don't ever remember my mama not peeling potatoes for soups and stuff or nothing. You never ate the skin.
No.
Unless you had a baked potato.
Right.
That was just the usual. Okay. Now, I have a bag of squash and zucchini here that we have frozen. I'm not going to add that yet. And the reason why I don't want to add that yet, it will turn into complete total mush if I add that in here right now. As you can see, it's already looking really good. It looks really thick with those tomatoes in there. It actually does look really good. Now we need to add some seasoning. So when I do seasonings in soups, especially like a vegetable base or, you know, like a beef stew, something like that, I always like to start with like a gravy in my soup. And the reason I like to use a gravy, especially like a brown gravy, it adds a thickness to your soup. It's not watery. You're not going to taste the brown gravy. You're not going to know it was gravy.
Honestly, didn't know she did this until today.
He never knew. Like, he always kind of looks at me like, why are we getting this? You're not going to know. You cannot tell it's gravy. But I want to take some of my liquid here, just from the top. It's going to take me a few minutes to help, you know, stir this in, because you will know it's gravy if you have clumps of it. But it makes it so it's not a watery soup. It really does. And that is so important. I remember one day when I was working a couple years ago, we had a soup event. And there was a beef stew. Oh, I love beef stew. Beef stew is my favorite. Of all the soups you can make, I will eat beef stew. This wasn't beef stew. It was a pot roast. Somebody said it was beef stew because it was just liquid broth. I mean, it was awful. And I was like, you got beef stew packets? Do anything. Add some gravy. Make it a little thicker. It does help. It really does. It makes it taste more like a soup, not like a broth. I don't even do chicken soup that's super thin. You can just see, we're just going to pour that gravy right in there. And then we're going to add the other seasoning, which is a taco seasoning. This is my other trick. Vegetable and beef stew can be very bland. Taco seasoning is amazing in beef stew and vegetable soup. It just adds something to it. So I'm going to put several tablespoons in there. And if you do not like seasoning, back yours off. We like seasoning, so we use a bit more. What do you think, Aaron?
That looks good.
And he'll tell you if it tastes like gravy. It's not going to taste like gravy. It's going to taste like a nice spicy, well, not really spicy, a nice seasoned vegetable soup. Now, actually, I'm going to need to add a little bit of water to this just to help start the cook. I'm going to turn this on a medium-low heat. Or, actually, I'm probably going to turn it on a medium-high heat because it's almost lunchtime. So the potatoes cook, and then we will add the vegetables in. And now I'm going to go get my chicken out of the Instant Pot, and we'll be back and I'll show you what we're doing for dinner. Okay, so let's make our sauces for dinner. So we're having Asian this week for dinner, and I keep my Asian really simple. I do some sort of a warm sauce on my chicken, my meat. I keep my vegetables really simple. Aaron likes honeyed carrots.
I do.
He doesn't really want them any other way. So honey carrots, so I'll do honey carrots and a tromboncino squash. You can see I have that squash cut up and ready to go right here. But then I do a yum yum sauce, and that's kind of now a necessity in our home.
Required by 2 people.
2 people to go on the rice. So let's make our yum yum sauce, and then we're going to make a teriyaki. So yum yum sauce, this is 2 cups of mayonnaise. Whatever mayonnaise you like to use. I'm doubling the recipe because it won't go very far if I don't double it. This is 2 tablespoons of butter, melted. And my first time making this, I actually used a butter powder. That worked out really well. I actually think I prefer it that way. I need 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Now I'm going to use the rest of this in my soup. And you do not want to guesstimate here. It needs to be exact. I went I actually need to do 4 because it's 1 tablespoon per serving, and I'm doubling my servings. So,
Yeah, too much. It tastes too
tomatoey.
Yeah, tomatoey.
You cannot use ketchup.
No.
You cannot use ketchup.
Mm-mm.
This isn't perfect. I think I need mirin, but it's not in the grocery budget right now to get mirin because of the challenge. So we cannot get the mirin, but I'm going to get it for, in March. No, I was doing guesstimates, and Aaron told me, this doesn't quite taste right.
Yeah, it's very...
very tomatoey.
well, it's very easy to get this one...
wrong.
right.
If one thing's off, it's not good.
It just doesn't taste right, yeah.
It just doesn't taste right. So, and it does taste better the longer you let it sit. It is one of those that 100% will taste better the longer you let it sit. But you have to have the tomato paste. It's the only reason I buy tomato paste. I have not tried this recipe yet with my tomato skins that I can use for paste. I'm a little hesitant too because it is such a finicky recipe. It is so finicky. Okay. So there is that. I'm going to use that knife here in just a second. We're going to use a little bit of salt and some pepper. And I need to add garlic and paprika. So we're going to do 2 teaspoons of each. And I love these metallic teaspoons. Aaron got me these for Christmas. When? A couple years back?
I guess it's 2022 probably.
Probably. Paprika. And you can't leave these seasonings out. It will not taste right. You have to add these in here. And I would say I'm a recipes are suggestions kind of person, but you can't do that. Rice wine vinegar. Again, this is another thing you cannot substitute. And I need 2 tablespoons. And then I need to get some sugar here. And we're going to again do 2 tablespoons. So this is all in teaspoons and tablespoons. And I'm going to use a half. I'm going to do 4 of these. I'll move that to the side. And now we're going to whisk it together, and we can add water, but we want to wait and see how thin it actually is before we add water. This is preference. If you like it thinner, add more water. If you like it thicker, add less water. This is all about your personal preference here. And then you just whisk it in, give it a good mix. Like this is too thick. I can tell you now.
Yeah.
It's way too thick. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of water. And just add it slowly. You do not want to add this fast because it will get too thin too fast, and then you can't just add like more mayonnaise to it. It won't taste right. So this is one of the few times I would tell you follow the recipe and go slow. And I would still say, what would you say, Aaron? Is that thick enough for you? Thin enough for you? Or do you think it needs to be a little bit thinner?
Probably just a little bit more thinner, don't you think?
That's what I was leaning towards. But I make this for you more than for me. I like it too, but Aaron and Isabel
require it.
They require it. Isabel loves it. This baby loves rice. She'd rather have rice than anything else. And I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. There we go. I think that's just right. Okay. So let me get cleaned up here, and we'll come back and I will show you a quick teriyaki sauce. Had to wash my tablespoon because I need it for a teriyaki sauce here. So I already have 5 tablespoons of brown sugar. We are going to add 1/4 of a cup of soy sauce. This is just some soy sauce we've picked up over the years. I like to have a lot of soy sauce on hand because you can do so much with it. I need to use it up because I do want to move us to a better alternative. So we've got a lot of Asian coming your way, Aaron.
Yes.
He loves Asian. Okay. Now I'm going to use my scoop and my water, and that's okay because all it is just water, and I need a cup of water here. And I'm using 1/4 of a cup. I like to reuse my measuring cups for the same recipe. It saves you on dishes. And I feel like when I cook like this, I have enough dirty dishes. It really is. It's one of those things. I need 1/2 of a teaspoon of ginger and garlic. And yes, this is an old mayonnaise jar for anybody who asks. These work great for bulk spices. So this is the ginger. And I've got my garlic. We had so much garlic powder. I think we have like 5 of these up there.
I know. We didn't realize we had so much.
And Aaron's always picking up garlic. Let's get some more garlic.
Well, we usually use garlic.
We use a lot of garlic. Okay, so I have my ginger. And I'm going to use honey. So this honey is crystallized, and that is okay. It's perfectly fine. I'm just going to use a clean. Actually, that one won't fit. I'm going to use a clean spoon to get in here and dig it out. I've actually been using this for tea.
Yeah.
I'll need to do 3 of these because it's a teaspoon. So for those of you who do not know, 3 teaspoons makes a tablespoon. So if you are running short, you need a tablespoon, you can use a teaspoon. I just needed something that's long enough to get in there. But it's worked out really, really well for us. This one it's been really good in the tea. We've been trying to be preventative. I don't know, a lot of people have had a lot of sickness, and we've been doing throat coat and the wellness one.
Mm-hmm. Can't remember that brand right off that we usually get those from.
No, but we found them local actually at a few of our local natural grocery stores in the city around us. We've been going there to get them, which has been nice because then we can kind of see the ingredients, see what we want to get.
And we do have more honey, local honey.
Oh yeah, we have so much local honey.
We're just trying to use up
a lot of these little ones that we have open.
Things we picked up.
We had so much open that it's not even funny. Okay, and now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of arrowroot powder or cornstarch, whatever you have works. I like either or, but I am trying to get more towards arrowroot powder. And I need to make sure I've got all of my ingredients in here, but I'm pretty sure I have it all. And I've been really bad at not putting my recipes on my phone.
You mean on paper?
On paper. Yep.
You keep them all on your phone.
I keep them all on my phone right now.
Which I've been complaining about.
He has been complaining about. All right, get them on the stove. We're just going to let this cook for a minute till it thickens up and cooks down. And what'll be hardest is getting that butter to melt. Oh, not butter. The honey to melt because it is crystallized, but it'll only take it a minute. We're just stirring while I'm letting that cook. I am going to stir the rest of my food. So my oatmeal is done. You can see it's cooked perfect. That's like exactly how we want it. And I'm going to check my pot here. And it smells really good.
It does.
It smells really good. It looks really good too. And I don't want this one to burn. So just kind of watching it really closely. It smells very teriyaki.
I can't smell it.
So Aaron has problems with smelling and hearing. And the biggest problem he has is with hearing.
Agreed.
He can't hear me.
Well, comment down below how many other people.
He can hear everything outside. But I'll be right beside him talking to him, and he cannot hear me.
I've had to remind her a few times to talk a little louder for you all.
I'm sorry. I have a low register. I do apologize. I'm trying. Be patient. And this one's actually, it does smells really good. You can kind of see it here. Just gonna let it thicken up really quick, and then the sauce will be finished. And after that, we'll add it to our chicken, and we'll get our vegetables ready to go in the convection oven. Okay, so our sauces are done. My chicken is done. I've already got it peeled, and I have it separated.
Peeled?
Plucked off the bones, deboned. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. One of them is going to go in the teriyaki sauce we made. And I got to tell you, look how pretty this is. What do you think it tasted like, Aaron? It was good.
It was good. I don't know how to describe it, though.
But it was a good teriyaki.
Yes.
And now I'm going to add some flaxseed because my oatmeal is done. I would add some flax to this, some ground flax meal, flaxseed meal, because, like I said earlier, we're trying to help some guts. And I read that flaxseed's good for that. So I'm going to add 3 spoonfuls to the oatmeal. Just give it a stir. And I didn't want to do it while it was hot. I wanted to do it while it was still cold, or while it was cooler, because I didn't want the heat to kill any of the good stuff the flaxseed could do, because I know sometimes heat can do that. So I thought we would just try it cold, because it's already ground. I like flaxseed. I used to eat them whole. So, Aaron, I don't know. You've had occasionally?
You used to do the flaxseed. I don't remember what it was in, but
I did the tea. No, it was at this chai.
Oh, this is
the chai. Like, you're not even going to notice this is in here. Maybe just a little bit more grainy. And then it's also time for me to add our squash to our soup, because our soup is almost done. So, as you can see here, look how pretty. And it looks good. And it doesn't smell like gravy, for all those who want to know. And this is squash we grew this year. And I'm just going to be careful. I don't want to hurt myself here. My hands are clean. We're just putting the squash in here. But the reason I didn't put it in early, squash, it's going to turn into mush. And I made a mess, as usual. It's going to turn into mush. You can't help that. Squash, when you add it to soup, is going to turn into mush. But if you wait just a little bit, If you wait just a little bit, it won't be as mushy. It will have some form, and it'll still taste good. So you just have to kind of pick your time and how you want it. I really like it in potato soup.
Yeah, it was good in potato soup.
Very good in potato soup. That was too hot to grab that way. This is real cooking, people. We don't do things in a fake way here. This is real cooking. And I made an utter mess. All right. Actually, let's do this first. So we're just going to pour this chicken into our sauce. So we're just going to let it set. And this is just chicken legs that I cooked up in the Instant Pot. I know a lot of people would probably prefer it fried, or probably prefer chicken breast. I was just using what we had, and I needed to use these up. And I love cooking them in the Instant Pot, because you get so much good broth to cook your rice in. I mean, so much good broth. And it's so tender. It's just my favorite way to cook chicken anymore. Look how good that looks. It's going to be so good on rice. And then the yum yum sauce on top. stir. Now we are going to make the second part of lunch this week. I'm going to make sure Aaron doesn't ever divorce me or leave me. I'm going to show y'all the meal he loves. So these are crescent rolls. And all we're going to do is we're going to open these up and lay them out. And this is one of those meals I think won me Aaron.
That's very good.
It is. It's one of his favorites. And you can use any type of crescent roll you want. And you can separate these out and lay them out. You're really wasting your time when you do that. You really are. I've done it that way. So I can tell you from experience, you're wasting your time. So we're going to take one of the packs. We're going to push it down. We're kind of making a bed. Here, if you want to start preheating your oven when you do this to whatever the crescent roll says to bake, because you're taking your pre-cooked chicken mixture and we're going to put it in here. And you can use this with any type of chicken you want. But what we're doing is buffalo chicken. And so what I have in here is I have chicken and I have a thing of cream cheese. So we have cream cheese and chicken. I wanted to go ahead and get the cream cheese in here while I was peeling the chicken so the cream cheese would start softening up. It would be easier to mix. And then we are going to pour in buffalo sauce. So buffalo chicken, you can use hot sauce, but it does not taste the same. You need buffalo sauce. And I'm going to use about a cup, maybe more. And like, Aaron's going to pour a lot more on top.
I was like, are you sure that's enough?
Aaron's going to pour a lot more on top of this when he goes to eat it.
Probably a cup.
He'll probably pour a cup on top of his when he goes to eat it. We love buffalo. And this is, God, this used to be something before we had Isabel. I made once a month.
Maybe even more.
Maybe even more. Like, we would eat this all the time. Can't now because she can't handle that much heat. Although she might like it. I'll try it and see. But, God, this is, how would you rank this on your meal scale?
This is in the top 5.
And you can take this mixture and you can put it in roll-ups. That's really good. You can use it as a dip. You can use it any way you want. You can eat it hot. You can eat it cold. It works so good. Now, if I had mozzarella cheese or a white Monterey Jack, I'd add that in here too. I do not. So I'm just sticking with cream cheese. I don't like it as much with a cheddar. It just doesn't taste as good. It takes away from it. I'd rather just have it with cream cheese. As you can see, we're just getting it nicely shredded. You all, this is one of the best. Easy, so easy. God, we had this. I would make this and Aaron could eat it in 2 days. The whole dish.
Yeah. Yeah.
He could. He would eat a half of one if he had a chance. I'd have to like break it down. So
she had to portion me out.
Because he would just eat the whole thing. Where I got the idea from this is you see the taco bakes all the time. And I was like, wonder if you could do that with a buffalo chicken. And Aaron's like, I don't know, but let's try it.
And I think the thing was we were picking up like a buffalo chicken pizzas at around the same time, and we were trying to come up with something cheaper.
They're so expensive. And I'm going to take and put a little, you see how pretty that looks? It looks so good. I'm going to put a little bit of buffalo sauce on top of this. I'll tell you, buffalo sauce in our house is a staple. I'm going to have to learn to make it. But if it doesn't taste the same, I don't know if I want to make it. Because we do like, we like a traditional tasty buffalo sauce. That's just, it is what it is. And we're picky. I'm very picky about what we get.
I mean, not so much.
Him, not so much. I don't want anything that's got ranch in it. If you like ranch, you can pour ranch on top of this, or if you like blue cheese on your buffalo. And then I'm going to take and just lay this one on top. We're just going to crimp those edges together as much as we can. This isn't going to be perfect. You don't care about perfection with this one because it just does taste so good. And I'm going to get this in the convection oven based on the instructions on your pack of crescent rolls. And you're going to cook it until the crescent rolls are done. Now you might want to add a few extra minutes to make sure your bottom is cooked, because it doesn't taste as good if you don't get the crescent roll fully cooked. You just want to make sure it doesn't burn up. So we're going to get this in the oven, let that cook, and in a few minutes we'll show you everything else we're doing. Okay, lunch is cooking. Let's get these vegetables ready for dinner. So this is a tromboncino squash I just sliced up. I did the big meat part, the long part of the tromboncino, and then I also have some carrots here, and we're going to just honey them. That's all I'm going to do. Aaron doesn't like them any other way. And if you hear noise, that is my little one making a mess in my living room. Like an utter mess. That's okay. She's living her best life. And I'm just going to get as much of this honey out of here as I can. And again, we have so much honey that just crystallized.
So many half jars.
And I don't know how that even happened, because we used to have it in that corner over there where the canner is. And I guess they just kind of got hidden behind everything. And so we're using these up as much as we can. This will be really good. Aaron's excited about this. He loves honey carrots.
Yeah.
In Asian.
Yeah, and she doesn't though. Like if you have
I
choice,
could eat them. I'd rather just get more rice.
Right.
Just give me more rice. I could do without the vegetables. I'd rather just have the rice and the yum yum sauce personally. But I'm a rice eater. My baby is me, but she looks like Aaron. But she's my personality. She's got my taste buds. And that should be good. I probably put a good cup of honey on here. And we're just going to let this sit till we're ready to cook it. We're going to cook it on about 375. I'm going to do it on probably my air roast setting. I'm going to let it cook till the tromboncinos are done. The carrots are already cooked. These came from a can because that's what we have. And we're just going to let these cook up. And once they're done, I'll show you what it all looks like. But it's easy peasy.
Okay.
Time for lunch.
Yes. And it actually is time for lunch. So this is what that's what I'm gonna be having. So this is the
I've already fed it to the baby.
tomato soup. I mean not tomato soup, vegetable soup.
Does it taste like gravy?
No, not all tastes like vegetable soup. Now the thing I was a little worried about, the squash. Let's see what it tastes like. That's pretty good. Not as mushy as I thought it was going to be.
No, it would just more blend into the soup, make it thicker.
That's very good. Especially this week as cold as it is. Okay, my favorite now. And I haven't added hot sauce to it yet. I'm going to taste it without the extra buffalo sauce. Oh gosh, I love this so much. It doesn't need the extra buffalo sauce, but I am going to put some more on it. But this is really good.
We'll come back and show y'all dinner and breakfast.
Okay, back here with supper and breakfast. So I'm going to try the breakfast first. This was the oatmeal with everything added in.
With that apple scrap syrup.
That is good. That's very good.
Is it?
It is. It's not It's a lot softer too, the oats are.
Well, I soaked them for like 16 hours. Do you think that's your preference?
I still like overnight oats better out of the two now, but that's good behind it. Okay, and supper. As you see, we've already,
Put the sauce on.
well, put it in our meal
Yes.
prepping containers as well.
The teriyaki got better, didn't it?
I didn't try it by bit yet. I was waiting on it. I'm trying to try it by itself. That is really good.
How are the veggies?
Veggies are good. With a little bit of yum yum sauce on them. And honey, really good.
How's the trumpetino?
I don't know if I got a bite of it a minute ago.
I'm trying to find the best way to cook the trumpetino.
It's a lot softer than normal, so I do like that about it. Trumpetino ain't the best squash, but it stores well. You know,
stores well and it's prolific.
that's really good. Though it's gonna be good this week. Got any comments, questions, anything you want to ask us? Put them down below in the comments or send them to thecannycouple@yahoo.com. Make sure to go over and check out our link tree and go find us over on TikTok as well. And
as always, thank you for joining us on the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.